Previously on Quest Friends Hereafter.
Quique and Matteo, why did you crash the wedding of Florence and Medici?
Matteo is standing there pretending to eat the snacks, but in reality, as a vampire who feeds on intrigue, he's feeding on all the juicy gossip.
Quique suspects that Flick the alchemist has something to do with the Bank of Medici closing.
Matteo, who at this point was getting kind of bored, perks up with the name Flick. Am I? Well, I just assumed you were in cahoots with Flick.
That I was in cahoots with Flick. I hate that guy. He likes to turn things into gold, and that is one of the negative rules of alchemy. You can't make things into gold.
Anyways, yayo, shall we away?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, Hallie, I want to roll Stumbling into Adventure.
Okay, what does that do?
If you want to find a particular character, creature, or general direction forward, roll plus heart. I want to just grab Quique by the arm and march off in a direction. We'll say that Matteo grabs Quique with one arm and with the other hand starts itching his eye. And I'm going to say I feed on intrigue, right, as a vampire with my third eye.
Yeah.
You know how you can, like, smell delicious food?
Yeah.
I want to say that's my stumbling into adventure. Like,
Did you smell the adventure intrigue?
Yeah, I smell adventure.
So you're walking, I like to imagine, with your mouth open, with Quique around this courtyard Medici wedding.
Quique is a little taken by surprise, both by being in close proximity to this hot man, but also just by being grabbed so suddenly and forced to walk there. So he's just gonna be like, what are you doing? What is this? What is this?
This is intrigue. Mystery, getting the key.
I get that, but what? Do you know where the key is?
Short answer, no. Medium answer, yes, kind of. Long answer, yes, but no. But yes?
Are you always so succinct in your answers?
I prefer to listen rather than talk, says the most talkative fucking man in this session.
You're so a fucking hypocrite.
Well, since you seem to have an innate, maybe yes, probably sense for where this key is, then I guess I will allow you to keep leading the way. But I keep a close eye on you, despite I having just 2 and you having 3.
Yeah, when you say keep a close eye on you, I'm going to say you're not the only one. As I scratch my eye, and I want to say as I get closer, it doesn't open up, but it does get, like, warmer, both physically, but more, kind of like hot, itchy skin. Like, I want to say that's how it gets before it flames up. So, like, the closer I get, the more... It's like a stomach growling, almost. Kika doesn't know it, but the eye is looking at him.
Oh, yes! Good! Quique is impressed by the deep... I don't know what color Matteo's eyes are, but Quique likes.
I'll say, how about this? How about, since ghostly magic is blue, maybe he has deep blue eyes.
Ooh. Blue eyes, white skeleton. The pair of the century.
Anyways, I gotta roll plus heart.
Okay.
And my heart is plus 0. Okay, cool. That's good. Okay, that's a 9.
Oh, that's a 9.
That's a 9.
You got a mixed.
I find what I'm looking for, but an obstacle prevents me from getting to it.
All right, so this whole party is in a beautiful Italian courtyard because it's the Medicis in a vague Renaissance area, as I have decided, apparently. You come across an area that looks like this. I could have sent this map, but it's much funnier if I just hold it up
I was
going to
say, like...
Here's the wedding. Do you see?
Oh!
The people smiling are the couple, and they're dancing. That's Medici and Florence now Medici. and they're in the middle of the dance floor, which is a circle, and there's all these like tables.
I know the heart is meant to represent love, but I
Yeah.
like to believe it's just a very small man in a heart costume.
I was gonna say a necromon.
It's like a child with the old man face. Can that be a necromon?
Child with the old man face.
Can the Renaissance babies?
Creepy cherub. You want to make creepy cherub a necromon?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Hang on. Creepy cherub sounds like Burek. So people are like milling around all the Medicis, and there's some snack tables. Nothing seems totally amiss. People are like a little drunk, a little rowdy. It's a wedding reception. The couple is dancing, and it's a really, really sweet
Yeah, okay.
Renaissance song.
Uh-huh, cool.
But what catches
the
your
song
eye,
is nice, but like...
because you're into this for intrigue, what you notice is this weird little man
It's a weird little dude. Just a weird little guy.
a weird little guy crawling underneath all the wedding tables.
I feel the need to note that before this session, Hallie was like, hey, I have an NPC. What should I do to describe? I'm really worried. And I said, oh, just like come up with one distinct detail. Or two, like Indracold has the smile and a yellow mustard shirt. Osetsuba, he's got his big coat and his green hair. And Hallie's interpretation was weird little guy.
A weird little guy.
Just how little are we talking about here?
It's a weird, okay, like, he's just a weird, shifty little guy, and, like, maybe he wouldn't be weird and shifty if he wasn't crawling underneath all the tables and, like, peeking out underneath the tablecloth sometimes, and then scurrying to the next one, and then scurrying to the next one. People don't seem to be paying attention to him because they're watching the couple dance on the dance floor, but he be scurrying. He's sweaty, he's nervous, yeah, he's just a weird little guy, you know?
Well, that there's a strange, diminutive fellow.
I was thinking the same thing. A minuscule, strange individual.
Clever enough. But I had already said strange.
Oh, you did strange. A bizarre, a minuscule, bizarre individual.
A outlandish, miniature Homo sapien.
There you go.
Una personita rara. I can just do it in another language.
Suck on that, Mateo.
Aha, klein setzer Mann.
Ah, German. I see. You're also a man of multiple languages. Interesting. I have many secrets.
Oh yes, indeed.
Behind that gorgeous face of yours.
As Quique says, your beautiful face.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna hold my hand up to him and say, oh, you think I'm beautiful? I agree. And I just slap him on the cheek before following the weird little guy.
All right, so how are you following the weird little guy? Like, are you getting under the table to chase after him, or are you just like...
But I guess you are the criminal, so you would know the answer, right?
You're not out of the woods yet on that criminal scale. So, speaking as somebody who stole from me, calling me a criminal. But
there it goes.
No. This is not a criminal thing. This is an investigator thing. And I want to see...
Okay.
Is there a way that I could have binoculars or something as a preparation for spying?
It does feel like something you'd have at a party that we could just pull off of somebody.
Oh yeah, you can just have binoculars, or you're at like a rich Medici snooty people wedding, so like
it's got to be the ones that are on like the single hand.
Yeah, if you want to like,
you know how like at weddings sometimes they give little souvenirs and stuff. Could it be the souvenir? These like shitty binoculars.
Souvenirs from the wedding that you weren't invited to?
Yes. But I
No, but I was, so I'm gonna say I have my gift bag from the Mona Lisa. I'm gonna use my cutaway gag there. And we're gonna say this is just a bag of party favors.
Legit, yeah. You can totally have little binoculars.
I wanna grab the binoculars from your bag when he says like, but, and then just, I have this now, retribution for earlier. And we can spy on the weird little, on the minuscule, strange, monsieur.
French.
The
Ooh.
petit étrange monsieur. Yeah. And I'm grab the binoculars and spy on him and see.
Where's the weird little guy going?
So he's scurrying from table to table, but now that you can see a closer up version of him, you see that what he's doing is some light, very efficient pickpocketing for just like loose change.
I love this guy.
But he also looks kind of.
I love this guy. I love this weird little guy.
But he also looks kind of like disappointed every time he gets whatever he gets from people's pockets. Like he's looking for something specifically. But the funnier thing is that, Quique, when you are able to see this strange little guy close up, you recognize him. You know this man.
Oh.
You know this man by the name of Flick.
Oh no!
Flick the alchemist.
Oh.
This is your colleague. You work with this man.
Is your colleague.
Oh,
this is
man.
your colleague in the scientific integrity of alchemy. He's pickpocketing people at this wedding.
I was gonna say that he might be one of yours, since he seems to be trying to steal coins from people, but don't even you reach the lower bar that is Flick, the heathen alchemist, who doesn't follow the rules appropriately.
Yes.
Heathen alchemist.
What rules are those exactly?
You don't know the rules of alchemy? I don't know why I got the impression that you thought you knew everything.
Oh, well, most certainly not.
Well, the rules of alchemy are that number one, you cannot create gold. Everybody has tried it. For example, Flick here keeps thinking that he's about to make gold. In fact, I came here because I thought he was going to have a nefarious plan to make things into gold this evening.
At a wedding?
Well, yes. I think he's connected to the bank being closed, and his plan revolves around that, and this is just the first step.
I will say this is kind of a slippery slope of tangential, reasonings here, but considering you are one of the people at the inner circle, yeah, sure, whatever.
Listen, tangential things may seem tangential until you get all of the clues and you realize that they actually connect into a very neat thread. The second rule is that you cannot bring people back from the dead, which I know that, here it doesn't really, half of us are technically dead,
What? I'm gonna, fake, confusion.
But those are the main two rules of alchemy, the two main rules. There are other sub-rules and it gets very complicated very fast. There's a lot of exceptions and sub-clauses and stuff, but for the new initiate, those are the things you have to keep track of.
All right, so you can't bring someone who is dead back to life, even though the person who is dead could go where anyone alive would be, and you can't turn things into a worse metal.
Yes, I am glad you agree that gold is really overrated.
I mean, it's inherently worthless. You can't make anything interesting with it. Sure, lots of wars were fought over it and all sorts of interesting affairs, like the people around gold. Now, that's something fascinating indeed. Actually, there was, and the more I speak, the more you can see the flame without me thinking about it is growing as I'm just, divulging all of these facts about, things that have happened with gold.
He finds the flaming eye very attractive. And he also likes that he's a man of information, for sure. And yeah, he's gonna just also respond things have the value that you give to them. Inherently, you don't have any. And he's gonna also talk about those things. And just to clarify and not bringing people back from the dead, it's also that, if you were a living human, they can't make me into a living human again. That is kind of more of what I meant. You can't reverse the process, which people have been wanting to do, Some people, for some reason, are like, I don't want to be, a skeleton. I want to be back to my former beating heart.
I suppose, yes, if you combined a dead soul with a body that wasn't their own, you could create some rather dangerous things.
It truly would be a disaster transferring a soul of somebody into something that does not really belong in that soul, like a full metal suit.
Now I want to put, all right, note to self.
Definitely having an accidental date at this wedding.
I was gonna joke that, like, because you're Arrow, I don't want to do the whole, like, the camera zooms in closer until it's just you in frame, but Rouge's saxophone from Sonic X is definitely playing in the background. There's like the music has drastically changed to the dancing couple.
I do want to do something, which is
Yeah.
I want to roll. It's probably going to be keep my cool, but I want to say that as we're having this conversation, I just want to grab Flick's hand when he inevitably tries to pickpocket me.
Okay.
Ooh, I want to also try and trip Flick. Like, we both were doing this and we're trying to separately.
Which just makes it so much sexier.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I like to imagine that, like, as we're talking, it turns into a dance on the dance floor.
Yes.
Like, we're tangoing around, and then we'll say Quique dips me, and that's when I reach back my hand to grab.
Yes, I like that.
My compatibility score with you, Ari, is 0. What's yours with me?
Oh, I don't know why. Why is it -1?
It might have just been that as a default.
Oh, is it because I'm inherently at -1 with everybody?
I mean, you are a bit of a dick.
Like Quique would inherently start off at -1 with just about anyone.
But I feel like 0 is good. Should I just roll with a +1 then? And just say Ari's helping me out by tripping?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it was a 6.
Okay.
But with Ari helping me out, it's a 7. It's a mixed success on Keep Your Cool.
Gets you up to the mixed success. All right. So, unfortunately, if you're doing the dance and you reach your hand off to grab, that means that Flick is now part of your dance. And you're doing this weird 3-person dance on the dance floor.
That's okay.
I'm okay with that, yeah.
I want to use it was a long con to change the mixed success to a full success, explaining that it was all part of the plan. Because you see, we planned to get him into our dance.
You've planned it all along.
In order to more easily steal from him and see what his deal is.
So this whole conversation, while we're talking, dancing, interrogating him, we are just pulling out of his pockets and slipping into each other's.
Oh.
Everything he has stolen.
That might be the sexiest image I've ever seen. I've ever just stealing.
Imagine if Sparky could see this.
Sparky be losing your mind.
I want to add meanwhile, as I'm talking about the rules of alchemy, just staring at Flick, isn't that right, Flick? Aren't those the rules of alchemy?
You wouldn't know the first thing about the rules of alchemy, Quique.
Sorry, Flick. What do you mean by not knowing? I am the textbook alchemist.
The textbook alchemist, that just means you're the establishment. Scientific rigor. Scientific rigor.
No, it's a river now. It's a river.
Only things that have been proven before. You've got no imagination, Quique. No hope.
I have more imagination than you have, Flick, with all of your very predictable plans.
My very predictable plans. Then what am I doing here tonight? Pray tell.
I don't know, Flick.
Well, looks like you're making a bit of a river of your own, if I should say so. And as I do that, I want to twirl him over and splash up dramatically in my face a trail of his sweat.
I don't know if it counts as a persuasion, but to be I don't know, Flick, why don't you tell me what are you doing now that I have caught you in the middle of your attempt? I know what it is, but why don't you tell me and get a non-deceptive persuasion?
All right, so my understanding is that this role is to persuade Flick that you do actually know what he's doing.
Yeah.
And that it's going to be just way easier for him to come, you shouldn't go through the whole rigmarole.
Yeah.
I want to add a bonus to it by spinning around and you say, after all, he does have eyes everywhere. And I want my third eye to open as I just creep behind him.
Okay.
That's how I'm going to help out and give Ari a +1.
All right, give Ari +1. Ari, give me a roll.
Okay. I rolled a 6.
But you get a +1 from me.
Oh, that's a 7.
So something is preventing them from doing what you want. They ask for something in return, they make one inconvenient misunderstanding, or they are temporarily upset with you.
I mean, I like temporarily upset.
I was gonna say, do you give a shit if they're upset with you? Like, that's not even a drawback.
If you want inconvenient misunderstanding.
He thinks we're boyfriends? You and your new sexy plaything.
Oh, yes, I like the inconvenient.
Classic rom-com, but like in an Aero way. Okay, so, well, Quique, since you seem too distracted to understand what my plan is anyway, I guess I'll have to lay it all out for you. You did always need things laid out for you.
Again.
Mateo might not wink, but he thinks it.
Again, I think you have it backwards, Flick.
We'll see who has it backwards when we finally crack the gold code.
Aha! I knew it! You were trying to make gold, Flick!
Oh, I'm not trying. I'm succeeding. And by I'm succeeding, I mean I'm helping somebody else succeed.
Is that really succeeding, though?
I'm gonna be second author on that research paper, Quique.
How do you know if it's not a predatory journal, Flick? You can't tell them apart.
I'm gonna say Mateo's third eye right now, ice cold. Just ice cold. He's distracted now by the things he's been pickpocketing.
It's just baubles, by the way. Paper clips. They had those in the Renaissance.
What were you trying to get anyway? Something made of gold so that you could pretend that you made it?
Oh, you're so short-sighted, Quique. I don't need gold to pretend things are gold. But I do need gold, though.
That was really good delivery.
Thank you. But listen. I want the things back from my pockets. Did you find a key?
How about an exchange?
An exchange.
You know, exchange.
You mean like how you can exchange the properties of one metal into the properties of a better metal? Like gold?
I mean, you can exchange metal for the properties of a better metal, you know, like silver.
You like silver because it's a second place color.
Gentlemen. I want Mateo to spin them both out.
I was going to say, you're all still on the
and
dance floor.
Reveal, actually, if I could change something.
Yes.
I want to reveal that I just danced us all the way to the back of the bank. So they just spin out and I just motion to the back door. Shall we?
Lead the way, clever man.
No. And at this point, there is going to be a GM intrusion.
Okay.
The GM intrusion is that because Flick is a weird little guy, he's able to trip easily. He doesn't want you to go into the bank. So he's going to steal the key back. And he is just fucking booking it.
Booking it? Oh, I'm not letting you leave that easily. Shall we? And just like motion for Mateo to follow this weird little guy to get the key. Unless, actually, can I spend an AP to make a skeleton key out of me?
Yes. You can use an AP to make a skeleton key. I will allow the skeleton key.
I'll say, yayo, there's no need. I just needed a good imprint, and I'm going to pull out from your back the skeleton key.
Oh!
If that's all right, Ari.
Yes. Can it be made from one of my ribs?
This is becoming a weird creation myth, but yeah. Yeah, that can be arranged.
As I open the back door, Mateo's going to just motion to Quique and say, after you. And when you walk in, I'm just going to sit there waiting.
Oh, I see. Quique will be like, that's right. I heard that about vampires. Alright, I guess I can let you in. I'm gonna just reach my hand to him.
Yeah, I'm grabbing it. Welcome to the announcement break. Tomorrow's news today. But first, ads. Our call to action today is to listen to Future in a Flash, the Flashback Future spin-off series where you help decide what happens next. It's currently available on all major podcasting apps, and we'll be releasing a compilation episode that combines everything from Chapter 1 into a single episode that'll be no longer than the one you're currently listening to. Speaking of, let's return to the episode.
All right. You specifically said you went to the back door, right, Kyle?
Yeah, because that's the sketchy one. I'm also going to note now that Mateo has Quique's. I'm just going to keep that. I'm going to keep that.
Yeah,
It's
just keep
okay. I can live without one rib.
Mateo just owns that now. He just has your rib.
Is that your signature item?
You know what? Fuck it. This is more fun. I'm going to peel off my finger yes gloves and just throw them to the ground, and the skeleton key is my new signature item.
Goodbye, gloves. Hello, skeleton key. Made from rib of man, I have carnal intentions with. So as I'm sure you recall from your conversations with Raphael, the back door is kind of like the secret one. So it's kind of rickety, but with your skeleton key, you get inside, no problem. But it goes somewhere kind of weird in that, like, here's another map I'm gonna hold up to the screen.
Does this one also have little happy faces?
No, there are no happy faces on this one. But you see how those stairs that go up,
Yeah.
you're coming in underneath the stairs.
Okay.
So that you can't see the back door from the inside of the lobby.
Okay, what's the thing on the corners?
Those are like cubicles. I
Okay.
didn't put desks or seats in them, but that's like where you'd go to talk to a guy about opening up an account.
Okay, so the tellers are like withdrawing and putting in, and
The
then-
teller is like, hey, I have a cache I'd like to check. And that's like a weird semicircle thing in the middle, like in the modern day. The teller is usually like a straight line of like almost cashier desks. In this weird old bank, it's like a circle. And so all the tellers are in the inside, in the middle, and then you just like line up around the circle to get your money. There are no tellers here now. That's just where the teller thing is, in the middle. And then the stairs do go up to a second floor. You can see like one of those really pretty, ornate Sistine Chapel-esque ceilings. Whether Michelangelo painted it or not is up for debate. But there's a second floor with like a balustrade going around.
All right.
Well, did you get any more mystery feelings with that mystery eye of yours?
I'm gonna poke out. I like to believe that both Quique and I poke out of the corner with like our little glasses.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Like we both have binoculars now.
But question, are you out opposite ends or are you Scooby-Doo stacking?
I think we got a Scooby-Doo stack.
You got a Scooby-Doo stack.
yeah, Scooby-Doo stack.
And yeah, I'll roll another stumbling into adventure.
Yeah, okay.
And that's gonna be a failure. That's gonna be a big old 5.
Oh,
Just to...
I want to give you my mixed success by helping sleuthing as well.
Is it just I'm about to walk out the wrong way, Quique grabs me by the collar, pulls me back?
Yeah.
And so the next success part is that looking closer in the bank, it's not lit very well because it's dark, but you do see like a little sleeping bag and like a lantern and like, you know, what like Arthur Morgan's camp would look like whenever you camp in Red Dead Redemption. Just a shitty little sleeping bag and lantern.
All right, so there's a camp set up here.
There's like a little camp,
by,
yeah.
by like the tellers?
By the tellers, yeah, it's like right outside.
Is there a vault anywhere?
Yes. It's like like you know how you'd have a chandelier? It's a vault chandelier.
That sounds...
It's a shed vault. It should never have been built.
So it's not like the ceiling. It is a
No,
giant vault.
It's just a giant vault that's like dangling.
All right, so we're Ari. We gotta crush someone with this vault before the session is over, right?
Yes, correct.
We gotta crush someone. Okay, all right.
Correct.
Just out of character. Want to make sure we're on the same page there. All right, perfect.
You also notice while you're looking at the vault there is like a siphon tube coming down from the vault. Like the vault hasn't been opened. There's just been something drilled into it, and these gold coins are coming down from the vault somewhere behind the circular teller's thing. If you get closer to the teller's thing, you'll also see that there's a lot of like scientific equipment set up on a teller's stand that normally probably wouldn't be in a bank. Just little vials and tubes, like Basil's shindig and Great Mouse Detective.
Yeah.
His whole like, yes, oh.
Can I, using my alchemy expertise, see if they were trying to do something like create gold in this bank?
Oh yeah. And I don't even think that like you need to roll for that because like you're an expert alchemist. You're in the alchemist coven. Today you made a new alchemy signal. Like this is just so clear. Like the gold siphoning from the top of the vault, it's going straight into all this like weird tube science kit
I see.
nonsense.
So it's like there's gold that's being siphoned from the vault to the thing.
Yeah, so, and it's not like the gold is turning into liquid in the tube. Like it's just gold coins that have landed in like almost a mining cart.
Ah.
And then like there's gold in various stages of like microscopic inspection or breaking apart. Someone has been working very hard on just looking at this gold and in many cases just destroying it.
I want to ruin this man's whole career and destroy the experimental setup.
Are you doing it like dramatically, or is this like all just minutely change this?
Minutely changing things so that he doesn't realize that things are not.
While Quique does that, I want to go to the mine cart, grab a coin, do the thing where you bite it, the test for efficacy,
Sure.
and then just shrug my shoulders, throw it back while pocketing another piece, because Mateo doesn't actually know how to do that. He's just doing it for the flavor.
Yeah, for sure. If Mateo did know, he'd know it was real gold.
Yeah,
But
and walks over to Quique doing the finagling. Well, what next, Mr. Alchemy?
Mm. Well, after messing with these things, you know, there's there's always the sleeping bag. No, no.
He thinks that, but he...
He thinks that. He doesn't say it, but he stares at the bag, stares at Mateo like,
look, guys, you can. There will be a hard intrusion if you do that. Do you get it?
Oh.
Hey.
Anyways, Kike will look at the vault and be like, well, I think there might be some exploring to do over there. Do you have any secret floaty or climbing abilities, sir?
Getting up there, no, although once we get up there, and I pull out the skeleton key, I may be able to do a thing or two.
Ah, yes.
Okay, yeah, actually, I do have an idea for getting up there. I want to spend an AP to make something convenient appear.
Okay.
So I have my gold, right?
Sure, yeah.
So I joked when I did the bite test thing that I didn't know. That's because I actually wasn't checking for that.
Okay.
I was checking for gold pieces that when rubbed together would resonate in such a way as to attract, let's say, some sort of like gold-loving plant necromon.
Sure.
Like the beans and the beanstalk, and I basically want to rub them under me and have, and again, we can decide what mon, but I'm thinking like out of the ground, like a beanstalk rise and just carry me up right to the bottom of the vault.
Okay.
Carry Quique and I.
Yes.
But Quique doesn't know what's happening.
Yes. What about Cacto?
Cacto?
Cacto, a skeleton cactus.
Okay, cool. Yeah, a giant,
Ooh.
and it's attracted by money. Cacto likes money.
Cacto! That's gonna be Cac.
Oat, cac.
cac.
I'm gonna say it like Affleck.
Oh, that is pretty good.
Cac!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's pretty good.
Cac! Comes summoned at the sound of gold and just starts growing out of the ground of this bank. But before it goes any farther, it does want more gold from you.
Shit, we're probably halfway up now too, aren't we?
Yep.
I want to climb down slowly and go get more gold from the camp.
That's the spirit, Yayo. It's a bit slow though. Couldn't you just jump down and jumble all about?
There's always a risk of having all of my puzzle parts of me separated in the fall.
That's true.
And it's a hassle to get them all together.
Yes. As I'm saying that, I just kick him off.
Oh!
Clang.
I'm giving you another hard move.
We both get an AP?
Yeah, you both get an AP.
Yay.
There you go. Get an AP.
Aren't you happy, Ari? I knocked you down. You're a pile of bones, and we both got an AP.
You're a pile of bones, and I gave you an intrusion, because what happens when you fall down is that this, like, secret trap door opens from underneath
Oh no!
in the center of the teller thing, and you collide with a man coming out of the trap door.
Is it another weird little man?
He's egg-shaped.
Is he Eggman?
Maybe, and he's got a long, bristly mustache.
Oh, what is Eggman doing here?
And as you collide with him, you're uninjured. You're fine. He's gonna go, intruders!
Technically, there's just one of him, I say, pointing to all of the bone parts that are scattered about.
To be fair, this is not the way I intended to make an acquaintance with, I didn't know you were here, but I didn't intend to make my acquaintance in such a scattered manner. God, this is so uncomfortable.
Oh, that's true. How rude of us. I'm going to jump down from the cacto. I want to bounce off this man's body, gracefully land on the ground, and then reach out a hand to handshake him.
You're telling me you could have jumped gracefully down that place this entire time and you threw me instead?
Well, it was a hardwood floor, now there's a man there.
There's a man there. The man backs up against all of his scientific equipment, like you're gonna steal it. And he's like, how did you get in the bank? It's closed.
We want to make a deposit. We're nothing but persistent.
I feel like the more interesting question is, how did you get in the bank?
Yeah, it's true.
It may be a more interesting question, but it's not one I'm going to answer. You think you can trick me, Dr. Midas? Absolutely not.
Dr. Midas, I have heard of you. You're Flick's idol, are you not?
Is Flick the one who let you in here?
Yes.
God, that useless piece of...
He told us everything about you and your plan and the secret entrance. So now there is no escape.
Yes. No need to go over all of it for our sake. But it would be rude to lead poor Cacto out of it. Wouldn't you agree, Quique? I'm pointing to Cacto, trying to pull the, we definitely know your plan, but, maybe you could tell us?
Yeah, don't you hear him squeaking?
I had the perfect plan. All I wanted was some privacy to work on my novel paper. And Flick, don't get me wrong, he's a great assistant. Actually, he's not a great assistant. He fucks everything up.
Well, Flick, actually, he told me that he's going to be first author on that paper. Is that true?
Oh, I believe that is true there.
Yeah.
He's going to be first author. I thought he said only... Oh, no. No, he was going to put you as second author, right? It was going to be a two-author thing?
Yeah, we were discussing things, and I, of course, denied because I didn't agree with his principles, but, I had to refuse. He insisted that only I was the only one that was worthy enough to be as a second author.
Absolutely. I mean, well, he did include the possibility of including me as a third author.
Oh, yeah.
As a novice alchemist. I just started today, actually.
I think you're a natural.
Oh, well, thank you. But stealing glory would be a terrible thing to do.
It really would be. I would feel really bad if I had been told that I was going to be an author and then suddenly turns out that this person is offering authorship to everybody that he meets. It would be terrible.
We slowly turned to stare at him.
Roll me convince somebody.
I'm going to have Ari roll.
Ari needs to roll this one.
Oh, I rolled a 12. I rolled a Maleta. I rolled a Maleta.
You rolled a Maleta?
Fuck you, Dr. Midas.
You rolled a Melita and Dr. Midas?
Yes.
To be fair, we're not convincing him to do anything. We're just pissing him off.
Yeah.
No, you're just pissing him off, but like Flick is such a piece of shit yes man that's why I was like, I don't know, he's gonna need, but you have convinced him that Flick is not his number one enemy.
Flick's a dead man.
He said what?
Yeah. And as I say, he told us about this whole shenanigan plan he had.
As if Flick's been the one locked in the bank the whole week, experimenting with the properties of gold. He's never been good for anything. No self-respecting journal would believe that he could be first author.
The whole week. Oh, well, I guess that explains where the smell came from. I'm gonna say just shifting a little bit away from the trapdoor.
He kicks it closed. Flick thinks he can write that paper. He's not even a doctor. He's a PhD candidate.
Ah, yes, he has been for the past 10 years.
Exactly. But tell me. Are you friends to the cause?
I mean, we were offered second authorship on the paper. Of course, we're friends to the cause.
Yeah, friends to the cause. Yeah, good friends, great friends, even. But potentially, friends with benefits. Just great friends to the cause.
Well, I hope you know, friends to the cause or not.
With benefits. At that clause there. It's very important.
Your benefits don't include my research.
Flick begs to disagree.
Would you mind? I do enjoy Flick, but he does seem a bit scatterbrained, and I know this is probably a bit untoward the cause to say, but you do really seem like the brains of the operation. Just a good egg up there and all that. Would you mind showing me your research? And I want to say that pointing specifically to the parts that Quique had booby-trapped earlier.
He's looking around. I went to a lot of trouble to secure this bank for the week. It's just you two. I'll need your solemn oath as alchemists that you saw me perform and succeed this experiment first. Solemn oath. Give me the alchemist oath.
I solemnly swear to the alchemist oath.
There it is, the alchemist oath.
I want to say, since Quique is still assembling things, he had not assembled one of his hands, which had the crossed fingers, as he said that he swore the alchemist oath.
I love that. I love that so much.
Now, the thing about making gold, and there's no cover over like his shitty science experiment, but he's making a flourish as if he's like taking a tablecloth off of all of his things, is that you need a lot of gold.
Yes.
That's, yes.
This seems counterintuitive, yes. Of course it does. But you already have the gold. Why would you use it to make more gold? The answer is because you can make more gold. Do you see? The answer's right in the question. If I could just have enough gold to study its properties, I could figure out how to transmute those properties into other metals. You see? We're working backwards.
They're trying to make gold into gold.
We're taking base metals and we're saying, how do we get this to be gold? What we should be thinking is, how do we take what gold already possesses and put it somewhere else in a different metal so that then that metal becomes gold? This is in my paper draft, which I am ready to submit shortly.
Ah, yes, okay. Please continue.
So you see, if we take this gold coin and we put it in this beaker, he puts it in a beaker and he's fiddling with buttons and levers and it melts. And he's like, you can distill it into the property of what you called molten gold. The molten gold trails down this tube into this other tube. And this other tube analyzes the properties of gold in this state. Because I believe if we could get one metal to this state, this co-mingling state where they're more similar than they were before, then the liquids can merge. And if the liquids merge, then it comes out gold when you re-solidify it. You see? It's like a smoothie.
Yes, I see indeed. Just quite an interesting process. And I want to say my eye is flaming, but I am not feeding on the intrigue of what he is saying. I am just watching the process of it get closer and closer to the booby-trapped, and that's what I'm feeding off of.
The liquid had not gotten there when he was doing his whole, you see, if it becomes a liquid and you shake it like a smoothie. But now it is, and so when it gets to that tube, it just ruptures. It just ruptures, and this hot, weird, molten gold goes everywhere. And because this is directly your fault, you now need to roll take action, but you do both get advantage because this is like your booby trap and you know what's going to happen.
That is 5.
With the top 2 dice?
Yeah, I rolled a 3, a 2, and a 2.
God.
That is going to be a 9 for me because I rolled a 10, but I have -1 fears.
Okay, so full failure for Quique, mixed success for Mateo.
Probably failure because I was still assembling myself. It takes a long time to assemble all of my 206 bones.
Ari, 205 bones.
205 bones is true.
Mateo does still have your tibia.
It is true.
Rib.
My rib.
Yeah.
They're the same difference. Tibia, rib. They're the same. Look, they've even got the ib.
Ribia.
That's the same. The ribia.
And I was too caught. I do a mixed success, but I was kind of caught up in just the moment.
You were so into the intrigue of watching when this is going to happen that you forgot I need to react when it happens.
Yeah.
So you duck. You only get sprayed with a little bit. It's hot, but you're a vampire and you're a skeleton. So it's not like it's gonna... It burns and it's unpleasant, but it's not... You're fine.
We already were hot to begin with.
Midas, on the other hand, was not prepared for his impeccable science lab to suddenly just explode in his face. And so he reels back straight into the cacto, which sends it tumbling down from where it was going to get back up to the vault.
No! What if the cactus knocked over the vault so it falls on top of Midas so that we actually, the checkups vault that we set up?
You know what?
I want to spend APs to make this happen.
You know what? When Midas knocks over Cacto, who was about halfway up, you remember, because you didn't bring the rest of the gold with you, so it couldn't grow a little bit farther.
If it falls on a golden Midas, it will grow uncontrollably.
Correct. And so it just keeps Jack and the Beanstalk growing until it hits the vault at the top, at which point the vault comes plummeting down while Midas screams about how he's going to get revenge on Flick. Stealing my research? Messing up my material that I spent my money on after helping me put together this whole scheme to get the bank closed after all this? That's what a vault sounds like when it's landing directly on a person in a cartoonish death that happened directly in front of Mateo and Quique.
Yeah.
I want to say, like, maybe after a little bit of, like, what the fuck happened silence, Quique will whisper, second rule of alchemy, you can't bring people back from the dead.
I don't have a better line.
Can we end it there?
I don't have a better line. I was gonna pay off something I set up in the first part of the session. I don't think I can.
Yeah, well, tell me what it is. We can put in the post credits.
When the vault lands, I was gonna have the vault thing open, like the door like creaks open.
Yeah.
It's been jarred or whatever. And 4 Renaissance men who you would recognize as Donatello, Raphael, Leonardo, and Michelangelo come stumbling out. They're like, "Oh God, we're free!" Because when the Medicis hired the Ren Men to do all the bank stuff.
Yeah.
Midas wanted access to that bank for like a really long time, so he actually replaced all 4 Ren Men with robots of the Ren
What
Men,
the fuck?
who then did all of the weird locks and doors. And so I was going,
That was the robot?
that's the fuck, you were gonna make me fight the robots? I was like, it'd be really fucking funny if all the people they talked to were just like these shitty robots, and that's why they're so boring and awful.
And the thing is, they have to be shitty, so they're like weird clockwork men with like powdered faces because it's just
Right.
white. And we just did not notice the whole time that these are clearly robot.
Just didn't notice.
I will say that is second place on the endings. Ours is first, that is second. My third one was motioning to the sleeping bag and saying, hey, you know, vampires got to be invited in, right?
Oh.
And my follow-up was gonna be, after killing Midas, do you fuck on the sleeping bag?
Yes.
It's like, on our first date, we killed a man with a giant vault, ruined another man's career.
Fucked on top of a sleeping bag.
Spoken by someone who watched Twister last night in preparation for Twisters. Bill Paxton has like an innate storm sense where he can just be like, the storm's gonna turn this way. The Dopplers all say it that way, but they're wrong. My heart says this way. You're
heart.
Bill Paxton from Twister, but for adventure.
I'm Bill Paxton, but hotter.
Sure.
And if he ate the tornadoes, if like the tornadoes came up and he just opened his mouth and he just gobbled them up.
Renaissance song.
Yeah, the song is nice, but like,
He said baby shark.
baby shark, do 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 do,
Baby shark, do 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 do. That's the
It's like-
cherub singing it.
It's like a Beethoven. Baby shark,
Baby shark.
but baby shark, but baby shark, but baby shark, do 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 do, but baby shark, but baby shark, but baby shark.
The creepy cherub is singing its heart out. The barrage is just owning it.
Aha, klein Mann.
Ah, German. Mm-hmm. I see. You are also a man of multiple languages. Interesting. I have many secrets.
Oh yes, indeed. I give a thumbs up to a little Vertrust.
Is that another Necrobot? A little Wurtbrast?
Yeah, it's
Does it win races? Does it win races before baseball games?
yeah, it's a little racing sausage caterpillar.
It's a little racist. It's a little Wurstbrast. Okay, Wurstbrat would say Darbsrod.
Would it say that?
Tarb.
Brat.
Srow.
Tarbsrow.
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 Svar.
Tarbsrow. Stalbsrow. Because it's German. That's a German accent I just did.
It is beautiful.
Stalbsrow. The Wurstbrat agrees. And at this point, there is going to be a GM intrusion.
Okay. Can I give my point to Flick?
I think
Imagine if we gave the point to like, okay, so like in a couple hundred years, there's going to be a 13-year-old child who really, really needs it.
who desperately needs it. You're going to like put it in safekeeping, like in a trust.
Irene shows up at this bank in 3 episodes, finds out we've had compound interest on her AP.
Compound interest.
She has like 1,000 AP to spend now.
Kyle, do you know
That would be your problem, Kyle.
how happy that would make me?
Well, she'd have to spend it all by the end of the adventure.
Or Irene could only take a little bit of the AP per adventure, and so she will always have AP.
Yeah, we were going to hold it with the AP Baron, who I said was going to come back from season 1. He's very trustworthy and will not run away with your AP.
Here he is.
I just think it's funnier if he's like, oh, I am your key to adventure now. Do you get it? Because you're
Yes.
And then because you did the skeleton key, and now you have like the rib, so now it's like one success.
Wait. Does that make Quique my signature item if I throw his skull at an enemy?
That raises ethical questions, and I don't want to think about them. Kind of like when we were like, Rhonda and Eddie are now like...
It's okay that we gave a man to a woman because they're best friends.
Like, that's we're gonna keep it at like, you have a bond now because of the skeleton key rib.
Okay, cool.
A little sleeping bag and like a lantern and like, you know, what like Arthur Morgan's camp would look like whenever you camp in Red Dead Redemption. Just a shitty little sleeping bag and lantern.
I want to fuck on the sleeping bag.
I mean,
I like to imagine Sparky is desperately, every time we make one of these jokes, Sparky, if she ever hears the story, this is her actually intruding, being like, okay, and then you slept together, right?
Right,
Yeah.
then that's what, like Princess Bride. Like Kike's like, here's this Princess Bride story of how I met Mateo. I'm finally opening up and telling you, and Sparky just interrupts all the fucking time to be like, when did you bone?
how I met your Mateo.